Welcome back, Muses. Today, let's journey through history of mental health and sadistic practices. First up, we have the lobotomist, Dr. Walter Freeman. In this opener, we trace the career of Dr. Walter Jackson Freeman II, the American physician who pioneered the transorbital lobotomy with an ice pick approach. Born in Philadelphia in 1895, Freeman invented a radical procedure that bypassed operating rooms and popularized it through nationwide hospital tours. He personally performed as many as 4,000 lobotomies on patients as young as 4 years old, often without anesthesia, beyond electroconvulsive therapy, and was ultimately banned from performing surgery in 1967 after numerous deaths and complications. We examine both his medical ambitions and the tragic human cost of his quest. Next up, we have our Cryptid Quickie with Amy. The Bee-Rock Troll. This Cryptid Quickie dives into the legend of the Bee-Rock Troll from the late 1800s, a dwarfish cave dweller rumored to haunt the woods and tunnels between Appalachia and Big Stone Gap. Laborers laying track and local families report hearing shrill cries for help emanating from the woods and occasionally glimpsing a deformed, stocky figure near Bee-Rock Tunnel. Even into the mid-20th century, residents near Powell River Trail recounted grotesque faces peering through windows and shadowy silhouettes darting across railroad tracks. Join us for the original story of this persistent Appalachian apparition. Next up, we have the Bizarre Burials segment. Institutional graves. We uncover the cemeteries attached to mental health and state institutions in the 19th and early 20th centuries. We explore how these burial grounds often feature unmarked or numbered graves, reflecting both the stigma of mental health and institutional record-keeping practices that prioritize anonymity. Overcrowding and budget constraints led to mass burials and minimal markers, leaving many patients' final resting places lost and forgotten. In closing, we have our missing moment. We revisit the unsettling case of Gretchen Fleming, who vanished after leaving a Parkersburg bar in December 2022. Investigators have executed multiple search warrants, including a recent FBI-assisted search of a former residence belonging to a man of interest, but no charges have been filed. Family and community members continue to press for answers, distributing posters and sharing leads in hopes of locating Gretchen or uncovering new evidence. And consider what this case reveals about cold case investigations today. Strap yourselves into your happy jackets, folks. This one is going to get crazy. Hey, y'all. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. How has your day been, Amy?
It's been pretty good, but I'm really tired. Like, I said no thank you to my alarm several times until I had to get out of the bed.
Yeah, that was me. I've been up and down all night long for like the last week, and
I'm like Garfield. I'd like mornings better if they started later.
Definitely. It's the early part for me. I slept till like 9 the other day, and I was pretty excited about that. But then I also felt like the whole day was gone.
Yeah. Zane sleeps until 8 on the weekend and thinks that he has slept in. I'm like, sir.
Right.
Snuggle up here and let me show you how to sleep in.
Yeah, you're doing.
Me and these dogs, we're going to do what we call puppy naps.
Yeah, that's what he does. And I'm not opposed to it. Like, I used to not be able to take naps, but then I moved here, and now I can do some napping. So most of mine are accidental. I don't mean to do them.
Those are sometimes the best.
I know. It's that midday, like, I've been cleaning or doing whatever it is I'm doing. And I'm like, I'm going to take like a 10 or 15 minute break, and I'll go watch something on TV, and it's an hour later. I'm like, oh, whoops.
Oopsie.
My bad. Anyway, we are going to do some crazy topics today. So I'm going to be talking about Dr. Walter Jackson Freeman and I don't know if you recognize that name.
I do not.
I'm going to tell some things, and then I'm going to see if you might recognize who it is.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with his family legacy and his upbringing.
Right.
Walter Jackson Freeman II was born on November 14th, 1895 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His father was Walter Jackson Freeman I, a respected ear, nose, and throat specialist. His maternal grandfather was William Williams Keene, one of America's most prominent surgeons and a pioneer in neurosurgery. Freeman grew up in a household that prized medical achievement and scientific inquiry. Though surrounded by physicians, he was more drawn to athletics and classical studies in his youth.
Oh.
Yeah. So his education and his early interests included, he graduated from Yale University in 1916 with a bachelor's degree. And then he went on to the University of Pennsylvania and earned an MD in 1920. He then had an internship at the hospital. I know, very much so. He then had an internship at the hospital of the University of Pennsylvania, focusing on pathology. Then he came to his European studies, where he traveled to both Paris and Rome in 1923.
Oh, nice.
To study neurology, absorbing continental theories of brain function and mental illness. His time in Europe exposed him to emerging neurological techniques and sparked his interest in the biological basis of psychiatric disorders. His early career foundations. We were already pretty into a lot of stuff here. He's done some stuff.
But he wasn't real into this originally, or like was he was pushed into this, or they just...
I think he just ended up having to do it just because that's what their family did. I don't think he had any interest in it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know specifically if he was forced, or I'm sure he was probably pressured at the very least.
Probably.
Yeah. At St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Washington, D.C., he became director of laboratories in 1924 at one of the nation's largest psychiatric institutions. He was reportedly horrified by the overcrowded, stagnant conditions and long-term institutionalization of patients.
I want to be excited about that sentence right there, but I know what this podcast is about, just not this subject, and so I am scared.
Right. He began to see mental illness as a physical, not purely psychological condition, rejecting Freudian psychoanalysis in favor of organic brain theories. And Georgetown University and U.S. Naval Medical School, where he taught neurology beginning in 1926, and also George Washington University, where he was an appointed professor and chair of neurology in 1926, earned a PhD in 1931. Freeman's early life laid the groundwork for his radical approach in psychiatry. His elite education, family legacy, and exposure to European neurology shaped his belief that surgical intervention could liberate patients from mental torment. Later, he and neurosurgeon James W. Watts introduced America's first prefrontal lobotomy on September 16, 1936, operating on Alice Hood Hammett, a Topeka housewife suffering from anxiety, insomnia, and depression. And now we move on to where some may finally recognize who this is. In the early 1940s, Freeman developed a transorbital ice pick lobotomy using electroconvulsive therapy to induce unconsciousness. He drove a slender orbitoclast through the eye socket into the frontal lobes, bypassing the need for a surgical drill or general anesthesia.
Oh.
Over the next 3 decades, Freeman crisscrossed the country in his lobotomy mobile station wagon.
I didn't know about that.
Performing as many as 8 procedures a day for a fee of roughly $25 each.
Imagine. Oh, no.
His
somebody $25 to scramble your
for brain surgery, basically. Yeah. His assembly line approach drew sharp criticism, imagine that, as deaths and debilitating side effects mounted. Our most recognized establishment he performed these things in was Can you tell me, Amy?
Organized establishment? Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Like a specific establishment?
Yes. A
Hours?
specific place. Yes.
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum?
Yeah, there we go. Where he apparently did his dirtiest and most work. Some of his most noted victims and where they are from include Alice Hood Hammett, first U.S. prefrontal lobotomy patient, September 14th, 1936, at Topeka's Menninger Clinic. Rosemary Kennedy, the sister of JFK, lobotomized in 1941 and left permanently incapacitated with the mental capacity of a toddler.
That's so sad.
Did you know that one?
She's
actually
the one that
she's on my list of one of the people like that I want to really cover because her story is absolutely,
it's really sad.
it's so sad. Unnamed patient at Cherokee Mental Health Institute in Iowa died in 1951 when Freeman paused for a photo mid-procedure and drove the ice pick too deep into the brain. He was taking selfies.
My dog senses my stressed outness, so I'm sorry if you heard her tippy tap across the floor. I'm okay. You're the goodest girl. Go lay back down.
Yes, she is. So yeah, you can imagine in 1951 how long it would take to take a picture. I believe that was one of the first deaths. I don't think that was the first death, though.
So he might have been one of the first deaths.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first. I don't think it was the first, but it made me noted.
Oh, okay.
And how insane is that?
I just don't like any of it.
I know. 4 immediate deaths among 228 West Virginia patients. In summer of 1952, Freeman lobotomized 228 hospitalized individuals across 4 state asylums in just 12 days.
Oh,
4 died.
Gosh.
Yes, 4 died during surgery, and many more suffered severe cognitive and emotional deficits. In 12 days, 228 people.
What's that average out to a day?
So about 19 people a day. That's a lot of ice.
19 people a day.
That's insane.
Okay. How long is the procedure again? Did you say that?
No, it's not really said, but it's not very long.
Imagine
he just went in and went tapped.
And at that time, we didn't know what really was going on in brains.
Right. And neither did he. Apparently. So.
I mean,
obviously, no one, including him, had any idea what was happening.
What goes through someone's mind? I mean, aside from this ice pick, that was not okay to say. What goes through a person's mind who comes up with, like, they go out to their ice box and they're like, hey, man, this ice pick would make a great surgical tool. I just need to insert it into someone's eye socket without popping their eyeball.
And let's just eliminate any kind of anesthesia, because who the hell needs anesthesia?
No one needs that. I mean,
that is so unnecessary.
I can't.
Right. I don't know. Now remember,
I wonder why they chose the eye socket and not the nose.
I always wondered
for fear of someone sneezing.
It would probably be a little harder to, because you're gonna have to go up and back.
Because you gotta go.
Yeah. You just literally just
pump it right in there. Here, let me.
Just give it a little tap-a-roo.
Just a little tap. How do you know when you've reached the brain?
That's my question.
I just. What's it feel like when you hit a brain with a ice pick? That was, wow. I don't even like that I asked that question.
I didn't like
that. Shut up.
That I just got in my eyeball. Thank you for that. So anyway, we're going to move on to also for West Virginia, the nearly 900 West Virginians. By 1955, close to 900 patients at state hospitals had undergone Freeman's transorbital lobotomy, often without true informed consent, including 20 Black men at Lake and State Hospital, whom he branded very dangerous beforehand.
Lake and
road? Yeah.
Dang.
You'll hear all of the hospitals that he worked out of in West Virginia, and that's going to shock you, because as I dug deeper, I was absolutely mortified.
I don't like I don't like this.
It's not just talent. So his impact and legacy, well, we know some of his impact and his legacy, but let's see. By 1967, after up to 100 documented deaths from cerebral hemorrhage and countless stories of irreversible impairment, Freeman was prohibited from performing further surgeries, which is nice, I guess.
That's fine.
However many there already were, but well, up to 100. His zeal for rapid, widespread lobotomies and the scant regard for patient consent or hygiene stands as one of the stands for one of medicine's darkest chapters.
He wasn't just poking an ice pick in, he was poking a dirty ice pick in there.
He wasn't cleaning. They weren't being cleaned in between. They very rarely wore gloves and things as well. So I'll get into it. Hold on. So
do you have to?
Oh yeah, I really do. Today, Freeman's story sparks fierce debate over medical ethics, patient rights, and the perils of unchecked experimentation. The decline of lobotomy coincided with the advent of antipsychotic medications and stricter surgical regulations. So I like a good story that brings us something from it, but
yeah, like let's wash our hands.
Like there's so many things that this could have brought with it, but here we are with the most basic things that you could possibly imagine. So let's go beyond the ice pick. His partnership with James W. Watts dissolved amid professional criticism, though Watts eventually distanced himself from transorbital techniques. Smart man. I'm
good with that.
Right. Freeman's legacy lives on in film and literature as a cautionary tale about the hubris of miracle cures. Modern psychosurgery, such as deep brain stimulation, emphasizes rigorous trials, consent procedures, and sterile conditions. Direct contrasts to Freeman's methods. If you'd like to explore Freeman's instruments and museums that display his tools, and there are archives of patient letters and photos, I'll be posting some of that stuff in the show notes. So, and of course, if you're in West Virginia and you visit Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, you will be able to also find patient letters, photos, and things like that there on display.
Funny you should say that, because I was invited to go up there with a couple friends, but I don't know if I can.
Oh.
Because it's too far out, and, I cannot plan things that far in advance.
Yes, that's true. When are they planning to go?
It's in November.
Oh, okay. So not October?
No. It's like the last weekend that they're doing the big thingies, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Well, hopefully you get to go, because that would be really cool.
I may end up just driving up for the day instead of spending the whole weekend there.
It's not that far.
Because it's not far for me. They're from Jersey.
Oh, it's far for them. Yeah.
Yes.
So, well,
Tracy and Jen, hello.
You could do that and spend the day.
And then be home.
Drive home back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be really cool. So, Dr. Walter Freeman is estimated to have personally performed or supervised around 3,500 lobotomies over his career. Of those, nearly 490 patients died as a direct result of the procedure. Causes of death include cerebral hemorrhage from placement of the ice pick, post-operative infections due to poor hygiene. Freeman often operated without gloves or a mask.
What if their blood squirted on you?
It's fine. It's all
fine. Yeah. What?
Seizures and brain trauma from excessive penetration, obviously. Neglect and complications in institutional settings in their active care. So they would have this done and just basically shove them in a room and watch them for a couple of hours. And then they're like, okay, go on about your day. That's generally how that worked.
He just made the problem in institutions worse. He just added more patients.
Yeah, way worse. Freeman was ultimately banned from performing surgery in 1967
I'm sorry, what year did he start doing this?
The first one was
36?
36.
Oh.
Yeah. So from 1936 to 1967, he did over 3,500 lobotomies, and nearly 490 people died as a result. A direct result. And that's not counting also after effects or people who committed suicide, and there were some recorded, or other complications from it much later. So those are just directly from the surgery itself.
Did I math this right? 31 years this man did this,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's how long it took them to. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. I
finally be like,
dear
hey,
God,
man, stop.
Maybe not.
Maybe let's don't.
67. That's 10 years before I was born, baby.
I know. See, and when you think about this whole thing, you don't think about it being that close to now. I mean, it's not close to now, obviously. All the kids right now are like, please. But
I know, we were born in the 1900s.
Like our existence. Right. I mean, my mom was born in 1945.
Wow.
This is 1967. My brother was born in 1970. So just a couple of years after they finally stopped it. Correct. So there's that.
Oh.
So
it's a good thing, because I 100% would have been a patient.
I mean, samesies. The reason that he finally was banned in 1967 was after repeated fatalities and mounting ethical concerns. Because again, there was no consent or permission given for like any of these people, except for Rosemary. She didn't consent exactly, but it was written consent.
So,
yeah.
Okay, was this still like back at the, because like to get into Tala, all you had to do was like read too many books and be a woman.
Right.
Just having a vagina straight just send them to Tala.
Definitely. That's absolutely.
So your husband could just be like, she needs this done.
Right.
Here's $25. Please put the dirtiest thing that you can find.
Whatever you got to stick in her eyeball, just put it in there.
Matter of fact, here is our ice pick from our home.
Right. She'll recognize it.
I dropped it in
it'll
the
make
dirt
her feel better.
earlier.
Right.
It's fine.
It's familiar, so try this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's disturbing.
So very.
Yeah. So the burial sites of Dr. Walter Freeman's lobotomy victims in West Virginia only are not comprehensively documented.
Imagine.
I know. But here's what we do know. Like I said, this is where you're going to find out how many places that he actually operated in West Virginia.
Okay.
Institutional grounds and pauper cemeteries. Many of the patients who died during or after Freeman's procedures were long-term residents of state mental hospitals. These institutions often buried unclaimed or indigent patients on site or in nearby paupers cemeteries. Number 1, Weston State Hospital, or the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, or TALA, as we all know it, in, of course, Weston, West Virginia.
Yes.
It had its own cemetery for patients who died in care and were not claimed by family. The graves
when we toured that, marked. Did we see that?
No. I've camped in it during a Battle of the Bands. It is way back. I'm going to find a picture because there's aerials, and none of them that I can find have the cemetery. Now, when we camped back there wasn't a whole lot left, like above the ground, obviously. So yeah, it's like if you drive across the front of the building and keep going up that road,
yes,
there is a dirt road that curves back up on the hill out behind where like the greenhouse and all of that stuff back there. It's up behind that stuff.
Okay, alrighty.
Yeah. So graves were often marked with simple numbered stones or just left completely unmarked.
So sad.
I know, I hate that so much, and I hate it anytime I hear about that.
To me, it's just somebody was not getting. They weren't getting visited by anyone. There was no one to love them.
Right.
They were just dumped.
But the thing is, they were
like a stray dog.
So obviously, they knew who they were. They deserved something.
Yes.
Asinine.
There was some kind of paperwork.
They got nothing. Yeah. They called them something. I don't care if you put "Hey Bubba." You know what? It's something. It's just gross. I don't like it. Huntington State Hospital also maintained burial grounds for patients who died in custody. The Marshall University archives hold historical records and photographs from this hospital, though individual burial records are sparse. So Huntington State Hospital had patients of his also. Spencer State Hospital operated a cemetery for deceased patients, many of whom were buried without detailed documentation. And of course, Lincoln State Hospital. For Black patients, segregated burial practices were common. Records are limited, but some victims were likely buried in nearby rural cemeteries and on hospital grounds.
So I have not heard of the Spencer State Hospital or the Huntington State Hospital. Are those still around?
I don't know about Spencer State. I will look into that one. Huntington State is now the Mildred Mitchell Bateman Hospital. So it says here, the former Spencer State Hospital in Spencer, West Virginia, was a large mental asylum that operated for nearly a century before being demolished. Completed in 1893 to relieve overcrowding from the Weston State Hospital.
Oh.
It was known for its dark history and is now a popular topic for paranormal investigations. We just got something new to put on our list.
I sure did.
I have not heard anybody talk about Spencer State.
Well, I think you should take that one, miss.
Is beautiful. Look at that.
What a gorgeous, gorgeous building. I don't know if you're going to leave this in or not.
But Tyler, yeah, I will. I love our Tyler. These buildings, when they did them way back then, were absolutely the most beautiful buildings ever. I love architecture.
It's giving Tala and that hotel from The Shining had a baby.
Stanley.
Only,
yes.
Yeah. Only it's a mega supreme baby.
Well, it's a big
and
baby.
It's gorgeous.
It's a whopper.
Yeah, it's a whopper.
It is. It's gorgeous. I'll post some pictures of that too. Well,
please do.
I will. The lack of consent and documentation. Many of Freeman's victims were institutionalized without family involvement, so consent for surgery was often not obtained, and deaths were sometimes dismissed as acceptable risk. And that's how he got by with it, because a lot of the patients that he worked on didn't have family or anybody that would come after him. So he just went in and was like, hey, what's wrong with that one? Does that one have family?
Let me ice pick him.
Come with me.
He knew. He's a mass murderer. Okay.
Autopsies linked several deaths directly to lobotomy complications, but burial records were rarely updated to reflect this. Of course. And now for the best part of this entire thing, his own demise.
Oh boy.
I know. Dr. Walter Jackson Freeman II died on May 31st, 1972 in Norwalk, California, at the age of 76, which is unfortunate he made it that long. His death was attributed to cancer, though he had suffered a series of strokes in his later years that left him partially disabled.
Oh,
wow. Despite the controversy surrounding his career, Freeman remained convinced until the end that lobotomy helped thousands of patients. He spent his final years traveling and collecting follow-up data on former patients, often photographing them decades after their surgeries to support his belief that the procedure's long-term success. So he didn't even leave them alone after all that. He continued to essentially harass them for years. So
was there any record that this was good for anyone? Do we know this information at all?
No, absolutely. There was not.
Okay.
No. So his burial, Freeman was cremated and his ashes were reportedly scattered at sea off the coast of California. There is no known grave or headstone, which aligns with his relatively quiet exit from public life following his surgical ban in 1967. What an absolute shit.
I mean,
just a gross human being. Like, listen, just because you didn't want to be a doctor and you wanted to play like dodgeball or whatever the hell you wanted to do with sports things. He doesn't sound like he'd be a dodgeball guy, but that's what came to mind.
I mean,
that doesn't mean that you just invent this dumbass idea that, let me shove an ice pick in somebody's eye hole.
Right.
See if just touching their brain, just poking it a little bit will fix them. Why? Okay, first of all, what gave you that idea? And second of all,
I think
what's your thought process when you come up with that? You know what I'm saying?
I think if somebody would have stuck an ice pick in his brain, we wouldn't have had any of this problem.
I concur.
I mean, did he ever think, oh, let me just perform this on myself? It'll be fine.
And there were two of them. So, why didn't one try it on the other first to go, you know what?
How do these people find each other?
That didn't work. Maybe not. And I want to know more about the other guy now because, what did he go on to do? Did he go on to do actual great things? I'm gonna look into him too. I'll post some stuff on him, at least on our Patreon.
Okay.
Because I want to know more about that guy.
Yeah. Because he's also garbage.
I mean, he is, but he bowed out.
But if he bowed out, why?
Not early enough. Exactly.
And why didn't he put a stop to this? Or is he the person who initiated hey, we need to stop this guy?
He distanced himself after the criticism started. So not really.
He knew.
Yeah.
Maybe he went on to be a murderer that we don't know about.
I mean, essentially his partner is a murderer that we do know about. So maybe that's why he bowed out. Maybe he was like, I'm going to get busted if I stick with this whole thing as you are being entirely too obvious. So I got to go.
Something. I'm telling you, something is up.
I agree.
Today's Cryptid Quickie is more of a folktale and was a suggestion from Zane. The Bee Rock Troll is an Appalachian folk entity associated with the Bee Rock Tunnel and the Powell River right-of-way between the town of Appalachia, which I didn't know was a town, and Big Stone Gap in Wise County, Virginia. The legend centers on a small cave-dwelling creature described as short and grotesque that issues a high pleading cry rendered as, "Come help me, please come help me." This poor fella is given some squonk vibes, okay? No worries if you're not familiar with squonk, because I will definitely be covering... Yeah, poor squonk. Remind me to tell you my theory with this, by the way. We're done. The troll is described as short and dwarfish, with a stocky, compact frame, and seems to be part animal and part human. Its face is described as grotesque and unnerving with prominent eyes. He moves quickly with a darting gait used to cross tracks or vanish into caves and brush. He is skittish, elusive, and mostly nocturnal, and encounters are typically very, very brief. He is encountered in tunnel. He really kind of does. He is encountered in tunnel mouths, small caves, riverbank brush, and the wooded slopes above the tunnel. He is said to have a high, shrill voice, and his plaintive call, "Come help me, won't someone please come help me?" can be heard at night. Some encounters with the troll include... No, I will not come and help anyone.
Sorry, sir. You're on your own.
Some encounters with the troll include... In the late 1800s to early 1900s, transient railroad and mining laborers working the Louisville and Nashville cuts between Appalachia and Big Stone Gap reported fleeting glimpses of a short, stocky, very ugly creature inhabiting woods, caves, and tunnel mouths. Many camped along the Powell River heard a high, shrill, pleading voice at night and avoided investigating because they were smart and must have been Appalachian. Actually, it was because crews were already anxious from prior sightings and stories.
I mean... Right.
Through the mid-20th century, engineers and railroad personnel traveling the line reported catching brief glimpses of a small, ugly figure darting across the tracks in front of locomotives or standing near the right-of-way by tunnel openings.
What is the descriptions of all of these cryptids and critters that call them ugly? And that's the first thing I think is, I bet it's freaking adorable.
I mean, right? Because I'm just like, let me snuggle it for a minute because it's probably cute as a button.
Like Puckwudgies. Come on.
Puckwudgies are freaking adorable, okay? Well, how about this, though? Okay, so fairies are all cutesy and stuff and are freaking evil.
Right.
So...
It makes me sad when they say, especially small, ugly figures.
I keep saying it, and every time I say it, I feel bad. Yes, they're small, big, and disgusting.
Yeah.
He was so scary. He had slobbery jowls.
Yeah, I'll leave them alone.
So does my dog.
All right.
In 1958, the Lunsford family, who lived on the point above B Rock, reported hearing repeated nighttime calls from the woods rendered as, "Come help me, please come help me," and seeing an extremely grotesque face peering through the house windows. Frederick Lunsford is said to have rushed outside and fired his shotgun to warn the creature away.
I mean, to be fair, cute or not, I wouldn't want it staring into my window.
No, I don't care how cute you are if you're staring into my Yeah. More currently, hikers report mostly auditory encounters with occasional fleeting glimpses. So it doesn't seem like his need for help or attention has progressed. Like he's not getting more and more nervous over the fact that no one's coming to help. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what I was going to say. He's been yelling this for a very long time.
Ain't nobody come.
Like, yeah.
Sorry, if you were cuter, perhaps someone would come.
Right. Maybe it's because you're just small and ugly.
Right. A roadside marker located at the Powell River Trailhead in Appalachia presents the local legend and preserves the Lunsford story. A wood carving by Johnny Cuban is on public display in Appalachia. It's behind plexiglass and exhibited in Appalachia near the B Rock Powell River Trail area close to West Main Street. It's not ugly. It's not grotesque.
It's not. When I was looking for pictures for the hints, I was like,
yes.
Wow.
I mean, I think it looks like a sad, cute little old man with a beard.
That's exactly what it looks like.
I think it maybe, doesn't it have pointy ears though? They're like elongated but pointy.
Yeah, I think they're longer. Yeah.
Like Tolkien elves.
Yeah. They're not
the big long ears. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually adorable. I don't care what any of those people say.
No, I love him. If you want to hear a really good retelling of the story of the B Rock Troll, look for a podcast called Mountain Lore, Tales from Appalachia. Steve Gilly has a phenomenal voice, and it's just real quick. I think maybe it's like 10 minutes for the whole episode. His voice is amazing. I don't think that the podcast is like new. I don't think there are any more new episodes being made, but
I remember seeing
just go give him a listen.
The name, but I don't think
Steve Gilly.
Listen to any of, yeah.
I can't remember where else I've heard that name, and the voice is familiar.
Yeah, I'll probably.
So I don't know.
I might be able to say it. I'll have to go find that and listen to it.
Okay. Do you think he's trying to lure people into something bad, or do you think he actually needs some sort of help? Because I have a theory, and you're going to love it. Well, tell me what you think. Do you think he's trying to lure people into something bad, or does he need help? Like, what do you think's going on?
I don't think it's either. I mean, I think he's just lonely. I think he wants a friend.
You think he's probably looking
actually show up if he's like, oh God, help. Because
perhaps
via his description from everybody, they're like, I ain't going over there talking about that ugly ass thing. You know what I mean?
No. Do you think maybe he's probably looking for his lost pet, and his lost pet is Squonk? Ha! Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
That's perfect. That is an excellent theory.
That's my theory. Like, I was reading it, all about this, and I was like, man, this guy sounds like the Squonk, and I just went, oh, Squonk.
He's
looking for his lost Squonk. Maybe I think next episode I'll cover Squonk, so if people don't know what the Squonk is.
But no, that's a good point. I like it.
Thanks.
I just don't feel like after seeing him, I don't feel like he was out there trying to hurt people or anything. That doesn't make sense.
Nah.
Okay. In keeping with that theme from mine, my bizarre burials is actually going to be funeral and burial traditions for mental patients. And it's sad.
For mental patients?
For mental patients. So mental hospitals, and this is all over the world, not just United States. It's a pretty universal thing. Across cultures and eras, mental illness has often placed individuals outside the bounds of normal death rites. What follows are some of the most unsettling and unusual ways societies handled the funerals and burials of patients deemed insane or unclaimed. Asylum, god acres, and mass graves. I had never heard that term before, and now that I have, I kind of wish I had not. Many 19th and early 20th century mental hospitals set aside on-site cemeteries nicknamed God's Acre.
So this wasn't just attributed to one facility, like most facilities call their cemetery God's Acres.
Correct. Or at least enough of them Unclaimed patients were interred in unmarked plots, often laid in neat rows on sloping terraces overlooking the institution, which is the case at Trans-Allegheny.
Okay.
Yeah. So graves were dug and coffins lowered by staff in near silence. No family present, and sometimes only a cast iron number plate marked the spot. Generations.
Now, when you were camping there, did you see, are those things left?
Not a whole lot left up there. People have.
Is that like the things that they put in before you get your headstone? Where
it is. It's basically
things
like the little things they stick.
Yeah.
Like the pick. Yeah. Generations of patients rested together. Their final resting place a stark reminder of how society segregated mental illness, even in death. So the paupers' lunatic funerals. In Victorian Britain and North America, unclaimed asylum inmates received a bare-bones funeral known as a pauper lunatic ceremony. A hired hearse and simple coffin transported the body to a brief chapel service led by the hospital chaplain. Fellow patients or a handful of attendants served as mourners, often standing at rigid attention. Some hospitals made it an annual ritual, laying out all unclaimed corpses for one communal viewing before mass burial on Decoration Day.
I have a question.
Yes.
They made it an annual ritual. Were they just like chilling in coolers until?
Correct.
That smells great.
I can smell it from here.
Oh.
All the way in 2025. And we did that. That wasn't just, it says Victorian Britain and North America. That doesn't sound very us.
I'm going to have questions for the tour guides if I go to Tower.
Yeah, definitely. So then there are the execution style burials for possession. This is interesting. Early modern Europe frequently conflated mental illness with demonic possession or heresy. Patients who died under suspicion of witchcraft could be burned at the stake, their ashes scattered alongside criminals. Those whose families feared spiritual contagion were sometimes buried outside consecrated ground or in quicklime to prevent their evil from returning. Even in death, the mentally ill are treated as dangerous anomalies rather than as souls to be mourned. So they would often put them outside of the cemeteries. Or as they said, the witches, they would burn them and then scatter the ashes.
Nowhere near consecrated ground.
Right. Which kind of brings us to the witches' graves. That wasn't even a thing. Like, they would never have been put there because of the other people.
Oh.
There's several other witch graves that are said to be witch graves that don't say that they're witch graves and so on. So, generally speaking, they never would have been put there anyway because it's consecrated ground. And then we're getting different.
Okay.
None of this has been too awfully crazy, but here we go. Outsiders burning ground cremation. In parts of Bengal and coastal India, mental patients were denied passage on the holy ghats. Instead, they were carried at night to lower caste burning grounds, far from the communal cremation sites. So they can't even be cremated where other people are cremated. Lower caste priests alone tended their pyres, and the ashes were disposed of in secret. This nighttime ritual marked the deceased as permanently outside both society and sacred geography. Everything following their death was just kept quiet. No one knows where they are. Nothing.
That's a shame.
That's crazy. Socialist institution ceremonies. Under Soviet-era mental hospitals, death became a spectacle of state ritual rather than familial grief. When a patient died unclaimed, ward staff announced the passing over the intercom with a standardized obituary. The body was then carried past residential blocks so other inmates could glimpse the final procession. A hushed moment of silence followed, reinforcing the institution's absolute control over life and death. Now,
okay.
With this one, you think about it, especially given Soviet era and the socialist part.
Yes.
And you're like, they actually did something, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All of these other ones are like, ew, don't let everybody know. You know what I mean? But they did all kinds of things. And I'm reading through here and I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is socialist. There's something else happening here, which of course it is. But like,
Yes.
oddly, they did more for them than
They really
just
did.
about any of the other ones. I mean, even if it was just to parade them around and be like, look, I have
Making them a spectacle.
over both of
Yes.
these things. And I'm going to make you look at him as we're going up and down the hall. You know what I mean? But they got something.
And they got a hushed moment of silence.
Right. And I don't know how I feel about this whole thing. I don't know
I'm
how
disturbed.
there's an obituary.
Yeah, what's that mean?
Huh?
Just this is their person, their date
Probably,
of birth.
they probably gave, who it was when they died. I don't know. But it's something. That's just of all the people to do that. I get it. It was a mental game. But
yeah.
Even as a game, they still got more than everybody else. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll go with this one. This is probably my favorite one. The folk and shamanic honorings. Certain Amazonian and Siberian tribes viewed chronic psychosis as a spiritual bridge rather than a curse. When a spirit-crazy patient died, shamans performed multi-day ceremonies with face painting, animal sacrifices, and drumming. The elaborate rites aimed to guide the deceased soul back to the ancestral realm, believing that they now held unique insight. And these funerals turned the boundary between madness and mysticism into communal celebrations of the otherworldly. I love this. That's the best one for me.
I would like to go back to the phrase spirit crazy.
Right.
That's beautiful.
I love it. I love the whole thing with theirs.
Yes.
Like they saw it as more of a spiritual bridge rather than a curse. That is gorgeous. I love it. And then calling it spirit crazy is just the best thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
It's lovely.
It is. So they like really did it up, which is glorious. Go figure. The Amazonians and Siberians. I like theirs way better. Like you would think that Amazonian practices and Siberian practices would probably be a little more like archaic.
Thank you. Yes, that's yes.
Just, you know what I mean? And they have like the most lovely thing in here. And then there's the last one was socialist, and they're also the only ones that really kind of gave any kind of positivity to it whatsoever. Although, like I said, I realize that it's a mental game, but like, what's happening? Come on. So anyway, it is really sad how most mental patients have been treated in both life and death over the years, and how they are treated after death. Granted, it's different today.
Yes.
To some degree, but if you think about it, the problem in that is that the reason that it's different today is because of laws.
That's true.
And if not for said laws, would it be the same? That's what I always kind of go back to, because a lot of the reasons that like patients are treated differently now in life and death is just because of laws. Walter Freeman,
for example,
inspired some of those laws. If you think about it from like when he was doing his absolute bullshit, obviously they're not going to get by with that now, but like, had he not done that, where would we be with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's scary.
This case was a suggestion from my friend, Kara Smith Coolman. So hello, Kara, and thank you for this suggestion. This is my missing moment. Gretchen Eve Fleming, a Wood County resident who lived with her grandparents in Vienna, West Virginia, was reported missing by her family on December 12, 2022, after last being seen in downtown Parkersburg in early December of 2022. She was 27 at the time of her disappearance. From what I can find, her birthday is either December 22nd or 24th, 1994, which is likely why she is listed as being 28 in some reports. Gretchen would be 30, almost 31 now.
Wow.
Kara actually knew Gretchen when Gretchen was younger. Kara said in a text.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't realize that when she sent it to me until I was rereading our text, and I was like, wait a minute. Did I miss that entirely?
Yeah.
So she said in a text to me, her dad, David Fleming, owned the local bike shop, like bicycles, and she was about 9 years older than Abby. Abby is Kara's daughter. So when we would go in, she would play with Abby, and we would occasionally see the family out and about, but I hadn't seen her since she was maybe 12. Her dad sold the shop at some point, and we just didn't run into them anymore.
Right.
According to reports, Gretchen was last seen in the early morning hours of December 4th, 2022, leaving My Way Lounge and Restaurant on Juliana Street in Parkersburg, West Virginia. As it was common for her to go days without contacting them, her family, who did attempt to contact her through calls and messages, didn't report her missing until December 12th, making it 8 days since anyone had seen her.
It's not that crazy of a long time, though.
Not really,
If
but
it's not somebody that you talk to every single day, you know what I mean?
right, which the thing I didn't understand is that she lives with her grandparents. So did she call and say, hey, I'm going to be staying with such and such? Or
Right.
yeah, and I couldn't really find
living with
information
family,
about that.
that's a little different, but if she were living
Yes.
separately on her own, that wouldn't be that crazy.
Correct. Shortly after the report, Gretchen's phone and purse were located at the My Way Lounge, raising alarm about her welfare. Surveillance captured her leaving the bar with an older man. Investigators pursued leads from that footage. In early 2023, Preston Pierce, the man identified in the surveillance video leaving with Gretchen, acknowledged to police that she had been in his vehicle that night, but declined to provide further details. Pierce, of course he did. Pierce had worked as a law enforcement officer in multiple West Virginia jurisdictions under the name Daryl Lott.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Public sources state he was fired from law enforcement for sexual misconduct and subsequently began using the name Preston Pierce.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. On November 20th, 2024, law enforcement executed a search warrant at a residence on Division Street Extension in Parkersburg as part of their investigation. The residence was associated with Pierce. Authorities conducted searches of properties and vehicles as part of an FBI-assisted investigation. There have been no public announcements of evidence being found relating to Gretchen during the search.
Wow.
Pierce has not fully cooperated with investigators and has not been charged in connection with her disappearance.
Of course he hasn't. Why would he be?
Right. I did not find that there were any other potential suspects. I did look that up.
Wow.
I hadn't read it into my notes, but I just throwing that in there.
Wow.
Or I don't think I did anyway. At the time of her disappearance, Gretchen was 27, 5'2", 125 pounds, with brown hair and eyes. I wasn't able to find anything describing what clothes she was wearing at the time. I even looked to see if I could find that video. Couldn't find the video. It's probably out there somewhere. They always are. One of the billboards I saw listed her as 28, 5'1", and 120 pounds. I'm not sure as far as height and weight which one is correct, but they're all really close. So back to my messages with Kara. She said there have been many organized searches for her around the area, and there are signs for her everywhere. She went on to tell me that her dad, David Fleming, passed away. He was only 51. We couldn't find a cause of death there. She sent me a link to his obituary, and it was one of the most outstanding obituaries I have ever read. You've got to read that. When it lists who he is survived by, Gretchen's name is listed along with his 6 other children and other family members. It seems he never gave up hope that his daughter would be found alive. I know. I was reading that and I went, oh, yes. But I hate that he died not knowing. I mean, I hate that for any, especially a parent.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you have information about Gretchen's disappearance, you're encouraged to contact the Parkersburg Police or the FBI Pittsburgh Field Office.
That's just crazy. I mean, we expect as much on these older cases that we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, surveillance footage is absolute garbage and all that. But like nowadays, come on. It's the same thing that kind of, like I said, like we don't like the vanishing people in today's cases because
right.
How is anyone vanishing from literally anywhere right now?
Here's another question I had real quick about her. In the video, is she carrying her purse or did she literally walk out without her purse? Did someone or him bring it back? I have questions about the purse.
Yeah.
Where was the purse left? Yeah. How did the purse end up at the bar?
Yeah, like did she just walk off and leave it there.
Right.
That's weird.
I don't like any of it. And hopefully some things get found out soon.
Yeah.
And it may be buried somewhere. I'm thinking of questions now. Yeah. You don't just walk off.
I mean, if I had a purse, I would still have my phone. Because, like, that sucker's in my hand or back pocket at all times. Like, whether or not my purse is or not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just weird.
And I'm just thinking of this. So I didn't look into it. But now I think I might have to.
Yeah.
I'd still like to find that video because I cannot.
I'll dig. We'll see.
Okay.
One of us should be able to come up with it.
I would hope so.
Because
maybe I'll check with Kara.
That's stuff.
Maybe she'd find
right. Yeah, definitely. And then if we, get our hands on that, I'll post it on the page and put what episode and all that, just in case.
Okay.
It may help. You never know.
You never do.
With the lack of information, something is better than none. Well, that is it for today, y'all. If you've got your own macabre musings, questions, or lore you've been dying to hear, find us on Facebook or drop us a line at Macabre.Musings.Podcast at gmail.com. We appreciate you hanging out with us as always.
Pull up a chair next time as we dive into more dark, creepy lore and maybe tumble down a rabbit hole or two. Until then, keep your lanterns low and your curiosities high.
And we will see y'all later.